Welcome to Queer News Tonight. This is the world's first and only LGBTQ daily news television show, broadcasting live and available on demand on your favorite streaming channels.
We are proud to announce that YouTube has recognized Queer News Tonight, certified by analytics company vidIQ, as the world's most popular LGBTQ streaming news show. Our queer stories have reached over 10 million views.
We are proud that we have more than 1,000 new subscribers in the last month and that Queer News Tonight has more YouTube subscribers than any other LGBTQ brand in Florida.
Over 500,000 of you have watched this show in the last 90 days. We thank you for watching and supporting our voice in the LGBTQ community.
There's no other news program in the LGBTQ world like Queer News Tonight.
It is Thursday, March 13th. We are live and literally out of the closet and into the headlines. So many of your important stories we'll tell this evening on Queer News Tonight.
You're watching Queer News Tonight, the world's first daily LGBTQ evening news show.
Welcome to the world's most important LGBTQ evening news show.
Hotspots Magazine, Happening Out Television Network, is a nonprofit 501c3 media company in the same model of PBS and NPR, but designed for the LGBT community.
Our nonprofit mission is to support the 11 pillars of our community, LGBTQ community, where we want to inform and educate the key issues of lesbian, trans, Latino, Black, healthcare, seniors, students, faith, social justice, business, and queer culture. Help us support our diverse community.
We are part of one of the largest LGBTQ nonprofit media companies in America, Hotspots Magazine and Happening Out Television Network.
In 2025, our magazine is celebrating 40 years of the LGBTQ experience, and Queer News Tonight is celebrating our 5th anniversary with more than 10,000 LGBTQ television stories. We will produce the 25th anniversary of our Stonewall Pride Parade and Festival on June 14th. We present Pride Fest in August and Pride Fort Lauderdale in February. Our magazine events, television news, talk, and entertainment show supports our mission to educate the LGBTQ and broader community.
In 2025, more than 100 community leaders, anchors will host this show to support the LGBTQ community. Let's meet today's anchors at Queer News Tonight. Let's welcome anchor Larry Farver. Larry has over 20 years of experience in human resources, acting, film, radio, TV, live events, parade float design, production, and casting. He is also a board member of the West Side Association. Larry, live at Mickel brings 80s nostalgia with On the Roxx. You will be present during the event too. Tell me, what's happening, brother?
Sure, Dr. Summers. Wilton Manors is set to rock on Friday, March 21st with Live at Mickel featuring On the Roxx, an 80s tribute band. The outdoor concert invites attendees to bring blankets or chairs and enjoy a night of iconic hits at Mickel Park. To accommodate guests, free parking and shuttle services will be available from convenient St. Clement's Church at Andrews Avenue and Northwest 29th Street. The event food concession will be sponsored and run by something near and dear to me, the West Side Association of Wilton Manor, by several dedicated volunteers. And what I want to mention is that, we have some wonderful, wonderful food. I know that people are going to bring their food, but we actually will have some really, really great pizza from Dolce Salato, which is, I think, one of the best pizzerias on the drive. Maybe I'm a little biased there. And we'll have lots of snacks and soda. And we're working on some things. Certainly people can BYOB if they want, but we may be working on that in the future. So please check it out. It's going to be a great night. And a lot of great things are happening in the park. I know this weekend, Ronnie Larson and Plays of Wilton they've been doing 2 weekends in a row where they're doing the funny thing that happened on the way to the forum. So we've been doing concessions there, just to put a little PSA about that as well. But please check out On the Roxx at
great.
Mickel Park on the 21st.
Great. Larry, you guys have been doing so much. I feel like every weekend there's so much going on, and kudos to the West Side Association for
Thank
everything
you.
that you guys are doing to activate those spaces there. It's
yeah.
been great for the
Yeah,
community.
no, it's a really great space, and we're getting people even from outside the borders of Fort Lauderdale and Wilton and Oakland Park. So it's really great to see people coming out and enjoying free culture.
That's great.
Yeah, and Mickel is really a wonderful. We live like 2 blocks from it, so like it's such a nice venue to have
It's
an
a
event
gem.
like this. It's going to be great.
Absolutely.
And we need more of these type of things going on in our communities. With everything that's going on, it's a great way for people just to hang out
I want
and
to say
make it fun.
It's
and
not just our community; it's our
Right.
allies.
Yeah.
So it's a great mix of people who just want to come and get entertained and have a good time together.
It's a great way to uplift our community and come together as a community,
Right.
quite frankly. Where can they find more information about these events?
Yeah, sure, absolutely. I think the best site would be wiltonmanors.gov, and then certainly there's you can click on events. It's a very user-friendly page,
Great.
and that's the best way. Yeah.
Folks at home, if you want something to do, go to wiltonmanors.gov. And this is a big LGBTQ story for today. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing and sharing Queer News Tonight. We look forward to seeing you there. Let's welcome anchor Alex Morash. Alex has served as editor-in-chief of Options Magazine, media director for the National LGBTQ Task Force, a very important organization for our country, and press secretary for the Florida Democratic Party. Alex, Electra, I Did It Their Way, comes to Wilton Manors on March 15th. Tell me, what's happening?
Sure thing. Drag legend Electra will take the stage one last dazzling performance on Saturday, March 15th at the Wilton Collective event space in Wilton Manors, Florida, titled Electra, I Did It Their Way. This final stop of the bucket list tour promises an evening of glamour, humor, and unforgettable entertainment. The event runs from 7 to 9 p.m. and is open to guests 21 and older. Adding to the excitement is a live auction which will take place, making this farewell celebration even more special. Tickets are $30, offering fans one last chance to witness Electra's legendary performance before the tour's grand finale. For more details and to purchase tickets, visit the Eventbrite. And I've been to the Collective's new event space. It looks great. I think this is going to be a wonderful performance for her. I'm sure people should joke that it's a forever tour or something, but it sounds like it should be a really great time.
It's amazing. I love to see when icons have said, "Oh, this is my last performance,"
Yes.
and I'm not talking just drag icons, but any icons for that matter. So I'm ready for her to come back after she takes a break and says, "Now I'm going to do it my way."
Yeah,
Absolutely.
No, I love it.
Yeah.
You mean like poor Cher?
Right.
Where 5 different farewell tours for
Right.
Cher.
Yeah, I've always loved Electra as Bette Midler. I remember many years ago being up in Provincetown, even before moving down to Florida, and just enjoying his performance, and just amazing.
No, I think it's going to be great. And again, it's one of those good community events that you can go out and support. They're raising funds as well. So definitely come and visit that event. That is a big LGBTQ story for today. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing and sharing. And Queer News Tonight looks forward to seeing you at Electra, I Did It Their Way on March 15th. Let's welcome anchor Vaughn Biggs. He's a great guy and a community outreach coordinator at Holy Cross Health and vice chair of the Ryan White Part A Planning Council and a founding board member of Trans Ed. Vaughn, GFLGLCC, hosts a spring garden party on April 26th. Tell me what's happening, Vaughn.
That's right, Edward. This is their second event. We were there last year, which was awesome. And so the Greater Fort Lauderdale LGBT Chamber of Commerce, which is known for GFLGLCC, will host its second annual Spring Garden Party on Saturday, April 26th from 5:30 to 8:30 p.m. at Islands Inn on the Drive, managed by Le Chateau Properties. The event will feature live music, an open bar, hors d'oeuvres, and an exclusive VIP experience. It celebrates the LGBTQ and allied community while recognizing leaders for awards with a corporate engagement, community impact, public service, and the prestigious GFLGLCC Hero Award. Tickets are available now with an early bird discount of $25 available until March 15th. For more details and ticket purchases, visit gogayfortlauderdale.com. I think it was really great because we've heard of, Al actually got some information there. A couple of the awards nominees have been already listed, so I'm going to go through those. The first one is the Champion Award for the Corporate Engagement, and this award honors a corporation that has demonstrated a deep and sustained commitment for supporting the LGBTQ plus community through inclusive policies, corporate social responsibility, and active participation in diversity initiatives. This honoree stands as a beacon of allyship in corporate leadership. And of course, the honoree is none other but Holy Cross Health, which I'm very happy for. So it's it's really great. I know I've talked to some of my leaders about it there, and it just shows that it's great to be recognized for the work that they've done for years, and it's just, it's getting recognized, and it's appreciated for that, and it's great.
It's amazing because Holy Cross has been in the community for such a long time,
Right.
and we're hearing about other clinics coming in the community for the first time, but Holy Cross has been with us in this community.
Yeah.
And so it's great to see that they're getting recognized, and you guys are all over. There's nothing that you guys won't do to support community and elevate our community, so it's really good to see.
Yeah. And then the second is the GFLGLCC Hero Award, and the GFLGLCC Hero Award is the highest honor given to an individual whose legacy of advocacy, support, and leadership has left an enduring mark on the LGBTQ plus community. This honoree has demonstrated unparalleled commitment to equality, shaping a better future for generations to come through years of tireless work and dedication. The honoree, of course, is our own Sean Palacios. So congratulations for that. And the next two, we don't have the names yet, but I'll tell you what they are. The third one is Champion Award for Community Impact, recognizing an outstanding individual or organization whose work has directly improved the lives of the LGBTQ plus individuals. This award celebrates those who have dedicated their efforts toward advocacy, education, and creating meaningful change within community. Honoree, I guess we do have that. Honoree Ina Lee is the president of Travel Host Media Group. So that's new news. That's awesome. Congratulations. And then the last one is the Champion Award for Public Service. This award is presented to a public servant or government official whose dedication to equality, legislation, and advocacy has greatly benefited the LGBTQ plus community.
Great.
Go ahead.
No, it's great. I think there's a great list of honorees. Holy Cross, obviously, as we said, has done a great work. Sean is well known in the community. I don't know, but just kudos to all of them. And we need, these feel-good events, uplifting our community and recognizing people's work that they've done and committed to our community.
It's just a great way for, especially this organization that, they come on board here and they've done so much and they're doing some very interesting things to keep the conversations going. All the people who support LGBTQ, all the businesses coming together, finding ways that we can collaborate with each other. And that's what we need to do if we're going to continue to stick together.
Absolutely.
Remove the barriers within our own LGBTQ community and actually come through this strong.
Yeah. So. I think they need to shorten their name. It's the Fort Lauderdale Gay Chamber. That's it.
Yes,
right?
I know. Right. Yes.
But the Miami-Dade has someone similar. It's like the MDG,
right.
blah, blah, blah. It's the same thing. But no, to your point, the Miami Chamber has done a great job of connecting with them and helping to support the efforts up here as well. So their work is really, really vital to our community and to support the businesses in our community, and not just on the drive, but throughout all of Fort Lauderdale.
Absolutely.
Great. That is a big LGBTQ story for today. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing and sharing. And Queer News Tonight looks forward to seeing you at the Spring Garden Party for the Fort Lauderdale Gay and Lesbian Chamber of Commerce on April 26th. Let's welcome anchor Dr. Bobby Hue, a world traveler and well-versed in global affairs. Bobby provides an international perspective on current events. A PhD in conflict resolution, Bobby is a certified civil and family mediator and the founder of BH Conflict Resolution Services. Bobby, GFLGLCC, is hosting its March monthly mixer on March 18th. Tell me, what's happening, Dr. Bobby?
The Greater Fort Lauderdale LGBT Chamber of Commerce is hosting its March monthly mixer at the iconic Rec Bar in B Ocean Resort. The event takes place on Tuesday, March 18th from 5:30 to 7 p.m. Attendees will enjoy a complimentary welcome drink, hors d'oeuvres, and happy hour pricing while networking with South Florida's LGBTQ business community. A highlight of the evening is a chance to win a 2-night stay at B Ocean. Early registration is encouraged with member tickets priced at just $5 in advance or $20 within 24 hours of the event. Be Ocean proudly sponsors the mixer with media support from hotspots happening out. Space is limited, so participants are urged to register soon. For details and registration, visit gogayfortlauderdale.com. And I'll just say this, the rag bar is a sight to see. It is essentially historically protected, and it features an attraction that you won't find basically anywhere else. A live mermaid show where various swimmers dressed with mermaid tails swimming in the pool right behind the bar that you can watch.
Oh, neat.
Oh, yeah.
So, and Be Ocean, and I have fond memories of Be Ocean because that's where my wedding reception was held. Back when it was like brand new in 2018. Oh my God, I'm old. And it's a lovely experience, and we might have more things coming up, including auditioning for the merman to be featured in the rec bar.
Oh, that's great. No, again, it's one of those chamber events. I think it's important to go, and the mixers are. That's where I met Vaughn. I think I met you at.
It was, yeah.
Yeah, I met you.
Hunters.
Yeah. Hunters.
Yes.
That's right. That's right. And
Yeah, they just won at Hunters last.
yeah, this is a great opportunity to network with our community
Right.
and to engage in business interactions. So it's a
Get
great
ready,
event.
get ready to swap numbers and hand out business cards.
Yeah.
Bring your business card.
Bring your business
A lot of them forget to bring business cards. And I'm like, how do you do that?
I have,
Bring your business card or do the digital one.
Yeah.
I have
Digital
the
one.
I have the one that you tap the phone and it shows up.
Oh yeah, people have shown those to me before.
Yeah.
Well, attend that event this coming Tuesday. That is a big LGBTQ story for today. There's no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing and sharing. And Queer News Tonight looks forward to seeing you at the Gay Fort Lauderdale Gay and Lesbian Chamber of Commerce March monthly mixer or March 18th.
And of course, let's welcome tonight's lead anchor, Dr. Edward Summers. He is the Executive Director of Pride Lines, one of America's most important community service providers to the LGBTQ youth. Edward, Latino Salud celebrates a healthy community at the Broward Performing Arts Gala on March 29th. Tell me, what's happening?
Thanks, Larry. Yeah, it's good to be here with all of you. Latino Salud annual gala returns on March 29th at the Riverview Ballroom, Broward Performing Arts Center. The evening promises cocktails under bistro lights, a celebratory program with surprises, and live performances by Stefan May with huge songs. Guests will enjoy an elegant riverfront terrace for dancing and dazzling drag performances. The event maintains no inflation pricing, ensuring affordability for attendees. Regular tickets cost $175, while VIP tickets are at $225. Included is an exclusive cocktail hour starting at 5:30 p.m. The main event runs from 6 to 10:30 p.m. Complimentary valet parking is available as well. All ticket purchases support Latino Salud's Florida AIDS Walk fundraising efforts, contributing to vital community health programs. Attendees can expect a night of entertainment, community, spirit, and meaningful impact. For more details, visit latinosalud.org. This is going to be a great event. I went to it last year. It was not there. It was at the West End last year, so this is a new venue for them. But it's a great opportunity for community to come together and just celebrate all that Latino Salud does for the community.
They're amazing.
They're an amazing organization. And Dr. Stephen Fallon's my neighbor. We live right next door to each other. He's a great guy. We always share trade secrets. And so I'm all about supporting him in the work that they're doing.
And that location's great. I mean, we've had a couple of events already, and other organizations at that location using that courtyard with the lot. It's really
great,
nice.
right?
Yeah.
It must be
It's
magical.
It's a great, it is.
Oh,
It's a great event.
it would be lovely. Hope just fingers crossed it won't rain.
The weather.
Because we live in Florida after all. And also, can we talk about how tight your shirt is right now?
How tight my shirt?
Like you are
We can
pumping
discuss that
everything.
later. One thing I think is also nice looking at Latino Salud's galas. Their prices are actually very affordable compared to a lot of other galas.
Oh, yeah.
And I know that like $175 is not affordable for everyone. It's a lot more affordable than a lot of other galas I've seen in the last year. So good for them.
No, they've done a great job. Last year, I think they had over 300 plus people at their gala. It was a packed event last year. And it is, to your point, very affordable.
Yeah.
And they're able to do that, because of all the great work that they're doing and all the great fundraising that they're doing through the AIDS Walk. Typically with the Florida AIDS Walk, you get your donations matched. So it's doubled, right? So so that's why they're able to, I think, maintain those prices. But it is affordable. It's going to be a great event.
And get ready, everybody. It's starting up Gala season.
Gala season's here.
Absolutely.
It's going to be nonstop.
Yeah,
starting like next week.
You got your tuxes ready, all lined up? We can't repeat, right?
No.
And my tux needs.
I didn't repeat not once last year.
I didn't either.
And my gala, I had like 4 different outfits on.
Oh my God! I only have one tuxedo. What am I supposed to do?
Switch it up.
Yeah.
Switch up the jacket at least. Or the shirt, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Accessorize.
Put some patterns, some color.
That's right, yeah.
You could do what I do when I want to get super dressed up. I look better as a drag queen than I do in a tux. So.
Ew.
Oh yeah, creating more than one, creating change. There'd be Sasha my cock, which was my dragging. I go around and interview everyone.
I gotta see. I show pictures.
I will another day.
I hate to tell you, I look terrible as a drag queen. I look like the Range Rosie O'Donnell.
Well, we look forward to seeing you at Latino Salud's Gala.
And that is the LGBTQ story for today. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing and sharing. And Queer News Tonight looks forward to seeing you at Latino Salud Gala on March 29th.
Now, let's dive deep into this big LGBTQ story for today. I am Dr. Edward Summers, and let's queer up politics. Trump's Nazi pink triangle post raises alarm among LGBTQ plus community. In a move that shocked many, President Donald Trump recently shared a post on his Truth social platform featuring a graphic of a downward pointing pink triangle, a symbol historically used by the Nazis to mark queer men during World War II. The post was linked to an article titled "Army Recruitment Ads Looked Quite Different Under Trump" by former U.S. Army Intelligence Captain Jeremy Hunt. The piece criticizes President Biden's inclusive military ads, suggesting that under Trump and President Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth, the U.S. military has shifted its focus to aggression and moving away from messages of inclusion. However, the issue isn't just the content of the article. It's the pink triangle itself. The downward pointing triangle is a deeply troubling symbol with deep, dark historical roots. During Nazi Germany, it was used to identify and persecute gay men in concentration camps, where they were subjected to medical experiments, castration, and execution. While the LGBTQ community has reclaimed the pink triangle, using it as a symbol of resistance and remembrance, its use in Trump's post has ignited fear and concern within queer communities. This comes on the heels of several controversial actions Trump has taken during his second presidency, including his reinstatement of the ban on trans individuals in the military and a ban on healthcare for transgender minors. Critics have noted that this post adds to a growing climate of fear for queer people in the U.S., especially as Trump continues to push policies that critics say undermine LGBTQ rights. This latest incident comes just months after tech mogul Elon Musk, a major Trump donor, faced backlash for what many considered a Nazi salute at a Trump rally. Well, this is where we're at, in 2025. We have an administration that is clearly one that is just, reversing all the progress that we made as a nation. They have clearly stated, and we have to believe what they said, they clearly stated their hatred for various diverse communities. They don't like diverse communities. Right. I think that their stance is that they want an America that looks just like Elon and Trump, and they don't want anybody else. And they don't want anybody else to be equal to them. And so it's with the military ban, right? Banning trans people, right? And it's with the children, the gender affirming care, right? Disbanding that when less than 0.1% of young people are seeking gender affirming care, right? So anything that that shows America that they hate the other, they're willing to do. And this is just a latest example of it.
Well, and also a couple of things to point out. One, armed forces recruitment ads tend to have a cycle. When Biden was president, the economy was good. There's plenty of job growth. Unemployment is a historical low. And that's when usually armed forces recruitment ads tend to be more fluffy and more like, try, our cool tech, we are a really good place to work with diverse people. But, with the Trump recession coming, or Trump session, if you will, now that, we fired millions and millions of people, when U.S. is going into recession, the armed forces tend to be more popular as a recruitment, and therefore they tend to show more reality of how army life is versus the armed forces fantasy,
Right.
Sure. So this is not news. They are just leveraging it. And second, using the pink triangle, and of course it's Washington Times. It is one of the most arch conservative press in the country. They're owned by a reunification church, a radically anti-LGBTQ church based in South Korea, no less. And the thing is, the pink triangle, of course they'll use it. They don't care about the history. They want people to be scared. Right. I'm not scared. I'm angry. Right.
And anything to divide the country, they're using. It's all about division, right? Dividing us so that we are a country in Elon Musk's vision. I argue that Elon Musk really hates America. I don't think people realize that. He hates us by dismantling our government, right? Our administrative state. He's showing that he really hates us. He doesn't like us. He's gotten rich off of us. He's gotten rich off of a lot of people, but now he hates us. He wants to completely dismantle us, and he wants us to go backwards, right? He almost wants us to be a modern day South Africa, right? Where, quite frankly, in South Africa, the white Afrikaners have all the money, right? And it's run by black people, but the money and power lies with all the white Afrikaners, and that's what he wants. And so
if he could reinstate apartheid, he would.
Oh, he would.
I've got to say, when I think Elon Musk does not want the modern constitutional governance of South Africa, I think he would prefer apartheid. But I think looking at Trump's, language and social media, I get there's a lot of reasons to be scared for this country, but then, I see his completely weak attempt at scary military imagery. I don't care if it's from the Washington Times or from made himself. As usual, President Trump, you only seem to tweet on the toilet, and you can't seem to handle doing a decent piece of social media. It's old school boomer crap. It's always a few years past its prime sort of imagery. It's always just I'm like, thanks, Grandpa. As usual, you're so uncool. That's what I see with this. It's just, once again, an old man on the toilet trying to tweet and doesn't even know how to press enter half the time.
And you think, I said this before, it's a diversion tactic.
Yeah.
He's attacking our communities in a way that he's pushing our buttons, and we're letting him see that he's pushing our buttons.
Right.
Don't let him see that the economy is crashing.
Right.
Be distracted by gay people.
That's right. Trans people, right?
Right.
Banning them from the military, right?
Right.
Absolutely. It is
or book burning, or all this stuff that Republicans.
Because what's going to happen is we're all of a sudden going to see what he was doing behind the scenes, because we were so focused on the attack or the imagery that he's using that there's something else going on.
Well, the smoke and mirrors,
Right.
I know that's been brought up before.
No, it's big smoke and mirrors, and to the point that Bobby's making too is that he's trying to distract away from what's happening with the economy, right? The fact that the reality is I know a lot of people thought our government was bloated, but anytime you have massive layoffs, you're leading into a recession. You're going to go into a recession because guess what? The externalities associated with layoffs, right? Is that all of a sudden you have all of these people, thousands and thousands of people unemployed, looking for jobs. And there might be a disconnect between the available jobs and these people's experiences and qualifications, right? So they might not even qualify for the jobs that are already out there, right? And then what we go into is, right, people are underemployed, right? You have people who are making a lot of money, who are highly qualified, are forced to take certain level jobs and change their standard of living. And then the externality to that is that it impacts housing, it impacts food, it impacts consumption, right? So this has a huge ripple effect. And to your point, he is distracted away from the main issue here, is that their layoffs are terribly impacting the economy. We've seen the stock market, right, go down. We've seen Elon's shares go down, right? This is all has an impact, but this is a way to get the conservative base riled up, right, to talk about gay issues, right, and trans issues in particular.
The economic issues are completely man-made, as the term Trump session. I wonder who mentioned that word to you.
But
seriously for a second.
It's the tariff that's even more serious because it is completely arbitrary. He just kind of say
25% on
But
this.
the
30%
jobs
on
do
this.
matter. It's not just federal jobs. Remember, he's cutting federal jobs left and right. He's curtailing government funding of higher education, which is a huge job creator. You're going to see higher ed mass layoffs. And he's trying to investigate nonprofits to try and force them to be unable to exist. So you have all these different major, completely unconnected employment centers collapsing all at once. That is going to lead to a huge ripple effect in the economy.
So your point, and I stay up on reading higher education literature. Higher ed has laid off a lot of people, right? You have the major institutions like Penn and Michigan, who aren't getting any NIH funding and all these NSF funding, all these federal grants that have made a significant difference in our lives, right? Like, because they don't have access to these funds anymore, they're forced to lay off lots of their staff. There's hiring freezes. So that, again, this externalities, right, associated with these layoffs and the funding freezes are the taking back of funding literally has impacted every sector.
Yeah.
It's going to continue to impact every sector.
And don't look at the stock market. I looked at my stocks. I'm like, oh, thanks, Donald. I've lost hundreds of dollars already. Goodness.
Yeah. No, it's tough, but this is what we're in for the next 4 years, and we just have to stand together as a community and fight against this.
It's only been 2 months.
Right. Absolutely. Well, that is a big LGBTQ story for today. There's no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing and sharing Queer News Tonight.
Now let's dive deep into this big LGBTQ story for today. I'm Larry Farver, and let's queer up gay culture. Gay actor McKellen urges queer celebrities to come out, sparking mixed reactions. Legendary actor McKellen is encouraging famous queer people to come out of the closet, and not everyone is thrilled with the suggestion. In a recent interview with The Times, McKellen shared his thoughts about Christopher Marlowe's Edward II, a play that explores a relationship between King Edward II and Piers Gaveston. McKellen himself played Gaveston in 1969, years before publicly coming out as gay. The discussion turned to the impact of coming out for celebrities. He recalled how Sir Alec Guinness once compared his decision to come out to, quote, getting involved in politics, end quote, while another actor, Simon Callow, saw no point in staying in the closet at all. During the discussion, McKellen, now 85, said, quote, I feel sorry for any famous person who feels that they can't come out. Being in the closet is silly. There's no need for it, end quote. The quote quickly went viral, but some responses were less than supportive. Some emphasized that coming out is not that easy, whether famous or not, and that everyone should do so when they're ready. While McKellen acknowledged the ongoing struggles faced by queer individuals, he also highlighted the personal and professional benefits of coming out. He said, quote, I have never met anyone who came out who regretted it. Listen to your heart. Listen to your gay friends who know better. Come out into the sunshine, end quote. Well, I applaud Ian. What a wonderful outlook. I think right now, as we've said in this story tonight, the stories tonight, and in the past on this show, we need to just celebrate who we are and, encourage people who maybe are hesitant to come out and be who they are, no matter how they identify, and be their authentic self. I look back and I was looking through a list, and there's so many people who've come out and been role models for our whole alphabet in the LGBTQ plus community. I know when I was a kid, Elton John was one for me, and I know he had a little bit of a rocky relationships with women, and then he finally came out, but I always knew he was gay. But that was a positive for me. You look at Jodie Foster, Anderson Cooper, Wanda Sykes, George Takei, Elliot Page, Billie Eilish, Matt Boomer, and so many more. So, I think we need to encourage people to be comfortable to come out, in spite of what we hear in these stories about Trump, shying, our community away from even thinking about the military. It's a shame that, people who've served cannot, but I think we need to show where we can showcase our talents elsewhere. And it's going to be our strength, whether it's in technology, whether it's in politics, we need to be out in force and certainly boycott places that do not support us, then they don't get our money.
People who are, as we say, like are movie stars and things like that. Yes, it may be easier for them because of the position they're in. But Edward, both of us know individuals that's a totally different story, and they do regret coming out, especially as youth, because they've had to deal with homelessness. They've had their entire families turn their back on them. It was not the time for them to come out. And I think we have to be protective. If that's their journey, it should not be somebody telling them you need to come out.
Though I'll say one thing I appreciate with Ian's words is he specifically discussed famous people. Because I was hearing the thing there was controversy online. I'm like, well, first off, kids online, how much, do you have something better to do? Like, no, like famous people coming out, like even if they do less in their career, oh, so sorry, you're only worth millions instead of tens of millions. It's very different than like those kids. And I appreciate him encouraging famous people to come out. Like it has been a big problem in the past, especially, like you mentioned, I love Anderson Cooper. He was in the biggest glass closet for how many friggin' decades, and I think it's good for more of them to come out.
Yeah, I think it's great for people to come out, especially famous people, because the role model factor is huge. I mean, us representing on TV, in movies, in music, those are things that the public consumes, and it gives them more exposure to LGBTQ people. Studies have shown that exposure to LGBTQ people, whether through culture or personal interaction, tend to wear down whoever person's homophobia is, but on the other hand, we got Caitlyn Jenner, who's not a role model for anything. And
well, it takes away the mystery, to your point. Once you get to know someone, I mean, I've heard people say, how can you say, everyone knows someone who's gay or someone who may be gay? We're all out there.
Yeah, I think I'm all about this, but I have to agree with Vaughn. I think everybody has their own journey, even celebrities, even famous people. And we have to remember, we have young people who are famous, right? And I think that, it's when you're ready. And it should be when you're ready, right? Because we all have different cultures. We all are raised different. We all have different pressures on us. And I do think it's great to have celebrities out there, but we all have different life experiences, and we have to respect that and honor that. And allow people to do it within their due time. Because I do want to say this, is that suicide is a big thing. We have a huge issue with people committing suicide because they're struggling with who they are. And so we don't want people to do that because they're feeling this pressure to come out because they're famous.
Well, I think the other thing too is that sometimes some celebrities might want to come out, but their management team just pressure them not to. Because, for example, if it's in the case of Rock Hudson, doing that would lose his matinee idol appeal, or whoever, or when Elton John when he was younger, because they want female fans or whatever. I think we are grown. I think generally fandom has grown past that. That people are like, oh, I'll ditch you if you are gay. Right. But on the other hand, there's this old school fear lurking around in Hollywood and in especially more conservative genres like country music.
And, and everyone's coming out story is unique and different. I remember I came out once, and no one, and everyone was like, we already knew.
Yeah.
I have too much stuff in the closet. I just came out of it.
Right. I think that the other big thing is that some people could be very private and just want a private life. They could be out in their circle, but just not out publicly. Right. Some people may not want the celebrity that comes with being out and being this sort of role model for people, or this toy that people are using all over social media.
I think that's Ricky Martin.
When people sensationalize people, right? So again, it goes back to we all have our different journeys. We know who they are, but we just have to let them come out during when they're ready. So that is a big LGBTQ story for today. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing and sharing Queer News Tonight.
Now, let's dive deep into this big LGBTQ story for today. I'm Alex Morash, and let's queer up entertainment. Nathan Lane talks flirting, Gene Hackman, Trump, and new gay show on The Late Show. Nathan Lane graced The Late Show with Stephen Colbert, bringing laughter and candid moments as he reflected on his iconic career and current projects. The conversation kicked off with a humorous exchange about the recent SNL 50 special, where Lane and Colbert joked about meeting up in the men's bathroom room. Lane quipped, quote, "When I walked in, there was only one available urinal, and it was right next to you. I believe it was Freud who said, 'There are no accidents,'" end quote. The heartwarming part of the interview came when Colbert showed a photo of Lane and the late Gene Hackman from their iconic film, The Birdcage. Lane spoke fondly of Hackman, calling him one of the greats of the screen, and recalling his daily ritual of telling Hackman, quote, "You're my favorite actor," end quote. He talked about the flirty interactions he had between the gay-straight actors. The conversation turned political when Colbert asked Lane about Trump's involvement with the Kennedy Center. Lane didn't hold back, saying, quote, "From a historical context, we're totally fucked," end quote, and jokingly that Trump caused more damage to the Kennedy name than RFK Jr. Lane continued with a hilarious rundown of Trump's proposed Kennedy Center events, including a, quote, "a youth choir made up entirely of Elon Musk's children," end quote. Lastly, Lane gave fans a sneak peek into his new Hulu sitcom Mid-Century Modern, which premieres on March 28th. You know, I got to see a little bit of this clip before we did the viewing, and I really enjoyed him discussing how he and Gene Hackman had a really good rapport and how they could ad-lib on The Birdcage. They did a song where they sang "I Could Dance All Night," and Nathan Lane ad-libbed this thing saying, "I played, I think it was Eliza or whoever the girl was in high school," and Hackman, without missing a beat, was like, "I bet you were wonderful," like in that creepy senator way. And it was so cute to hear them do that and hearing about how it was. So it was great to see Nathan Lane on.
The Birdcage, come on. It was a classic. And also reflects an era of Miami that can never be replaced now. The Birdcage Miami the South Beach in Birdcage does not exist. No, it has been gone for decades. Anyway, so about Nathan Lane, he cannot play straight if he tries. Okay, the man is so fabulous that a rainbow is coming out of his head.
Yeah. You know, when I moved down here to Florida 6 years ago, I remember working with a real estate agent. I go, "I want to live in Miami," and they're like, "Really? Why?" And I'm like, "The Birdcage," and they're like, "Oh no,
no, darling, no.
You need to go to Wilton Manors, right?" I was like, "What? No way!"
But I saw a couple of TikTok clips about Mid-Century Modern. They're advertising it, and it stars him and Matt Bomer.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So it's kind of a generational, like kind of a queer twist on Golden Girls kind of way.
That's what they're playing.
That's what they're.
So thank you for being a friend.
Exactly.
Yeah. I just hope it doesn't get too
schmaltzy.
Yeah,
cliche.
Kind of like I don't want it to be like all of these innuendos of how all gay men are type of a thing. But
you're hoping it's more Golden Girls than Golden Palace,
right?
Yeah. Or just not be. We don't need a Will and Grace repeat.
Right. We don't need stereotypical. Yeah. Well, anyhow, that is a big LGBTQ story for today. There's no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing and sharing Queer News Tonight.
Now let's dive deep into this big LGBTQ story for today. I'm Von Biggs, and let's queer up health. Gilead's once-a-year PrEP injection shows promising results. Pharma giant Gilead Sciences has unveiled promising results from its phase 1 trial of a once-a-year PrEP injection. The company presented these findings this week at the Conference on Retroviruses and Opportunistic Infections, also known as CROI, in San Francisco, and they were also published in The Lancet. Gilead already offers a twice-a-year PrEP injection using the drug lenacapavir, which is also used to treat HIV in many countries. The FDA is expected to decide on its approval as PrEP this summer. But Gilead isn't stopping there. They are now testing a new once-a-year version of the injection. Early results from this phase 1 trial, which included 40 participants, show that a 5,000 milligram once-a-year injection of lenacapavir maintains higher drug levels in the body than 2 lower-dose 6-month injections. The drug's concentration remained above the 95% effective level for 56 weeks, surpassing the 52-week protection from the biannual doses. While injection site pain was the common side effect, it was a mild to moderate and resolved quickly. Gilead plans to start a phase 3 trial later this year. Dr. Jared Baton of Gilead believes this could be a game changer for HIV prevention, addressing adherence challenges and ultimately reducing global HIV transmissions. You know, we have a lot of talk in our communities about PrEP, and obviously, I talk about HIV and I talk about PrEP, but that's not. It comes out sometimes that that's the only option for us to end HIV, and it's not. It comes. It's got to come from all angles. It's got to come from getting us to U equals U. With no, we have no transmissions of HIV, and it can't be just PrEP alone. I know that they're moving towards the 2 a year, and then I'm thinking the 1 a year, but the problem I have is if there's ever any interactions, guess what? That medication stays in your system. How many weeks did they say? 56 weeks?
56 weeks.
So if you have any type of interactions with that drug, then it's something that's going to stay in your system for a while. And that is what concerns me the most. But it is a game changer when it comes to that. When you think about people in our homeless populations, you think about people who, just kids that are having sex and wanting to be protected. I mean, there's definitely opportunities for that, but it's also education, and we are lacking in this country in education.
Yeah. My concern here is the cost of it and access, right? Because we already know how much PrEP is, the actual pill. We know that there is the shot already that you can go once every 2 months already, and so that's pretty expensive. And so I just want to make sure that as they're exploring this, that people have the education, but the cost is discussed and we have access to it. With this government that we have now, I am very, very concerned that people will have access to it. And then my other thing that and I'm very excited about it, of course, like anything to like help prevent and stop and zero transmission, to your point, very excited about it, but I want to be practical as well. My only other thing is that, suppose there's another strain that comes out. And people think, oh, I got my 1 year shot. I'm just a little concerned. I feel like there needs to be a lot more research done on this, a lot more time done on this study before we try to roll this out as like the complete game changer, right? I just want more time.
Yeah. Now, I hear you. I try to trust the medical community that they will handle through clinical trials things like interactions and things like, new viruses and how it interacts. But the price is a big deal. Gilead could be potentially a $40,000 injection that costs, literally they've admitted it doesn't cost that much to make. Yes, the trials cost a little bit of money, but I do want to remind viewers that companies like Gilead spend more money on marketing than they do on research. And the thing that scares me the most with the price lately is obviously $40,000 is a lot, but normally we talk about what insurance will normally cover it. Insurers are trying to sue to end preventative care. That is a big, scary thing. Both that the pharmaceuticals want to charge these prices, and insurers we don't even want to handle preventative care. I'm like, yes, because it won't save you any money in the long run at all, insurers. So these are all important things to think about with Gilead. And it always reminds me to remind people to always encourage your lawmakers to investigate Gilead more often with their prices.
And with the for-profit health insurance business is not. It's extremely short-sighted because they only want short-term profits. They cannot think of preventative care will save them money in the long run because you don't want chronic illness essentially. But they think that PrEP is a problem because we have to shell out the pills every single month. That's stupid because HIV drugs will be much more expensive. In the long run.
Yeah, I'm still very hopeful about this, and I'm very excited about the advances that we're making. Because, again, I think that HIV has been such a challenge, globally, not just in the United States. And we've made so much progress. I'm afraid because of this government. I'm afraid about USAID, right? For instance, has stopped funding global HIV/AIDS preventative care, which ironically enough, George W. Bush, was the one who actually, through his passionate conservatism, is the one that started it. So I'm a little concerned, but still very hopeful that one day we'll have no transmissions, right?
Yeah,
and that's the goal.
Some of our countries, none of them have reached zero transmissions. At first they were talking Australia might have, but it didn't. But like Botswana and some of those, they're at the 95% level already of being, people that know their status, 95% of the people, 95% of the people are on antiretroviral, and 95% are U equals U.
Yeah.
So that's way better than the U.S. is doing.
That's right. So there's some hope here. But we have to still be vigilant and knowledgeable, and hopefully there's more information that comes out. So that is a big LGBTQ story for today. There's no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing and sharing Queer News Tonight.
Now let's dive deep into this big LGBTQ story for today. I'm Dr. Bobby Huen, and let's queer up lesbians and queer women. New queer dating show, You Hold, promise drama and romance. A new queer dating show is headed to your screens. You Hold, a hilarious take on the lesbian stereotype of moving in together after a short dating period, has dropped its first trailer. The official description called it the, quote, ultimate lesbian dating experiment. Dozens of singles moved into a mansion to put their budding relationship to the ultimate test. Quote, love at first sight, try love at first lease. You Hold is a bold and exciting dating experiment show where singles dive headfirst into love and possibly each other's homes. From first connections in a luxurious mansion to the ultimate U-Haul decision, we test whether these relationships are built to last or if they'll crash and burn before the moving truck even arrives. Though there's no official release date yet, U-Haul social media promises the series is coming soon to its YouTube channel. They also released an intro featuring the singles appearing on the show. So if you're ready for some drama, laughs, and romance, subscribe to the U-Haul YouTube channel and stay tuned for new episodes. We'll talk about stereotypes. And also, sorry, Faye, that you are not here to present the story because you will have jokes. and you know, I mean, look, I think it's good to have queer spaces in the reality show space, especially since reality shows gave us the worst president in human history. But on the other hand, I'm not entirely sure how well queer people need to play to stereotypes or manipulation or general reality show crap in order to want to be represented. I'd rather not be represented if it's going to end up like that. I mean, we see it again and again and again. The Bachelor, the Bachelorette, you know. These things are cheap to produce and easy to manipulate the contestants.
I understand, bro. And, you know, I originally was going to say, you know, this is either going to be the best YouTube thing or the worst thing to happen to lesbianism. But then looking at it, I didn't realize it was an all-black woman cast. And I can't think of a time when I've seen an all-black lesbian woman show. And so that might actually be a wonderful thing that I wasn't even thinking could happen. So.
I agree with you. I think it's important to show niches within our own subcultures, you know, so within the lesbian community, trans community, gay community. So I totally agree with that.
I'm just wondering if they're going to have a poly. I'm ready to see that. I need that to come to the table more often.
Just start a commune.
Yeah.
I mean, I like you. Like the diversity is great, and I just hope it doesn't get too tokenized. So that's my only issue. But I'm looking forward to seeing a couple of episodes. You know, I used to be totally news junkie. Now I'm like, I need a little reality TV to like.
News is like cringe now.
Yeah,
it's like
so it just
unending
mixes it
bombardment
up for me. You know, so we'll see. So stay tuned. Look at the YouTube channel. That is a big LGBTQ story for today. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing and sharing Queer News Tonight. Those are today's headlines from Queer News Tonight. These anchors represent the best of our LGBTQ and ally community.
If our community is important to you, share this news with your friends and family. Join the conversation on your favorite streaming platform.
Queer News Tonight is the only live LGBTQ digital television show in the world that is out of the closet and into the headlines.
We need your support. If our community is to grow and then thrive, we must tell our stories and bring them to the attention of the broader world.
This is the only place in the world that tells these type of LGBTQ stories in motion and sound. That is the passion of Hotspots magazine, happening on our television network, and Queer News Tonight.
I'm your anchor, Dr. Edward Summers, and on behalf of these LGBTQ reporters, the anchors of Queer News Tonight, including Larry Farver, Alice Morash, Vaughn Biggs, and Dr. Bobby Hugh, we will see you daily at 8 p.m. To our LGBTQ world, we hope you will join us by embracing love, generosity, bravery, be transformational, and queer. Good night.
Good night.
Now,